Welcome to St. Elizabeth of Hungary here in Whitehall, Pennsylvania. In conjunction with Cooks with Collars, I'm Father John Penzik, the pastor here, and I'm going to be making big, soft ginger cookies. Now, you've probably had cookies before that are hard and crumbly. These are soft and delicious. First thing we should always do is wash our hands. There we go. Great. And I want to make sure that I got my stove turned on, so I'm going to set it for 350 degrees. I'll be right back. There we go. Great. All right, and then we're going to start getting together our ingredients. So you're going to need 2 1/4 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 3/4 a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So now we're going to mix our dry ingredients first. So the first thing we're going to need is 2 1/4 cups of flour. Oops, there we go. All right. Next thing we're going to need is 2 tablespoons of ginger, ground ginger. Ground ginger, that in there. Next thing I'm going to need is baking soda. I think it's 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Great. Then we're going to need ground ground cinnamon. So it's 3/4 a teaspoon of cinnamon. There's our cinnamon. Next is cloves, and we need 1/2 teaspoon of cloves. Great. And lastly, we need salt. It's 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Yeah, this is dangerous. So next you want to do is you want to sift together your ingredients. So I'm just going to mix them all up a little bit there. And then we're going to go over to the mixer and get the wet ingredients ready over here. Put them here. And get a bowl. Right. So we're going to mix together in our mixer here 3/4 a cup of butter. Go. And 1 cup of sugar. And you want to just blend it just until it's nice and fluffy. Next thing you want to do is we're going to add an egg. Nice, get in there. A tablespoon of water. And 1/4 cup of molasses. This is my favorite brand, Grandma's Molasses. All right, so we got our egg, our molasses, and our water in there, and we're just gonna blend them all up until it's nice and mixed up well. Great. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our dry ingredients and add them to the wet, but you should do it in stages. So this is the first part, about 1/3 of it inside. And let that, just kind of mix together a little bit. And then you can add another 1/3. There we go. Let that kind of get together. Now I have my last 1/3. And it will start to stick together, but it doesn't stick to your hands very much. And we're going to make the cookies next. We have our dough all made, and I have just a little bowl of white sugar. And you're going to make your cookie balls, and they get to be about the size of a walnut, so a little bigger than normal, because they're called big soft ginger cookies. So we're going to make them and then roll them in the sugar, and then we're going to put them right on the pan. So you just take one, and you roll it out. One. There's two. There's three. And just make sure as you roll them in the sugar, you just want to pat it down a little bit. Just pat it down a little bit. They seem to rise better that way. That's four. Here's number five. That's a big walnut right there. Five. There's six. There's number seven. There's eight. And nine. There you go. And that one's going to be a nice one there. Roll it in the sugar and set the pan and flatten it out. Great. So we're going to take our cookies now, and we're going to pop them in the oven. Remember, it's preheated to 350. It's up to temperature now. I'm going to put it in the oven. Go. Good. And you should put it on the middle shelf of the oven. When you put your cookies in the oven, make sure you set your timer for, it says between 8 and 10 minutes. It depends on the oven. So I like 9 minutes. Seems to come out very well. So it looks like it's been about 8.5, 9 minutes. I'm going to take my cookies out of the oven. And I just let them sit there for about 4 or 5 minutes. All right, they've been resting for a good 4 or 5 minutes. And we're just going to take them off and, hey, where'd all my cookies go? Do you want a treat? Okay, you can have one too. Good girl. Hey, thank you, 8th grade, for all your help with the camera work.
You're welcome, Father.
Thank you, 8th grade, for all your help with the camera. Thank you, 8th grade, for all your help with the camera work.